All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies class, I've been going through a series of presentations I'm doing based off of the Mozilla Developer Network Learn Web Development series. I'm so far have done the complete beginner's start here, getting started with the web, and now I'm into the HTML structuring the web. I've gone through the overview. So it's time to get started with HTML. All right. Now, a couple things. First of all, they say in this article we cover the absolute basics of HTML. I agree. But there is no way then in this presentation, 15 minutes or so, that you can cover every basic of HTML. So as it says, the article will talk about elements, attributes, and other important terms. All right. So I've mentioned this to you in previous lessons, and I'm saying it again. HTML by itself is not, repeat, HTML is not a programming language. It's a markup language. That's what the ML in HTML actually stands for. All right. As it says, it tells web browsers how to structure web pages. It can be as complicated or as simple as the developer wants it to be. It works in conjunction with CSS or Cascade style sheets and JavaScript, which we're going to be covering next. All right, it says it consists of a series of elements. Now again, probably if I right mouse click on this and open it, what I'm going to find, I guess it's very short because they're going to actually go through what an element is in here in just a minute. So I'll keep off of that. All right. You use these elements to enclose, wrap, or mark up different parts of content. It's a tag-based language. So if I type this into a web page like this, it would just be something that I typed in. In other words, it wouldn't be a paragraph, it wouldn't be a heading, it wouldn't be part of a list element, etc. It would just be some text that had been typed in there. However, if instead of typing it in like this, I type it in like this, now what I've done is I've said, okay, what this is this is a paragraph. All right, this is going to be a paragraph on a web page. What's the difference? Well, one difference is it is now what is considered a block type of element, which we're going to go through in here in just a minute. Now, I almost wish the author of this hadn't said this, but if you look at this, it says tags in HTML are case sensitive, meaning they can be written in uppercase, lowercase, mixed case, title case, etc. That said, please, other than the word doc type, you very rarely, if ever, see any HTML tag that's not in lowercase. There really should not be a reason to not put it in and put it in lowercase. Okay? All right. So next is the anatomy of an HTML element. All right. So again, they're breaking it down in here. So what do you have? Opening tag, closing tag. Now, most but not all HTML elements have both an opening tag and a closing tag. Some do not. We've already looked at one, whether you realize it or not, and that was the image tag. The image tag does not have a closing tag. All right. There are some other ones that do not as well, but the majority of tags have both an opening tag and a closing tag, and they look the same, except the closing tag is after the less than sign is then, before you put anything else, it's preceded by a /. All right. So as it says here, the opening tag is the name of the element wrapped in opening and closing angle brackets. Many people call this the less than and greater than sign, but in here they're referred to as angle brackets. All right. The opening tag, as mentioned there, marks where the element begins or starts. Then you've got your content. Now this is just one line and all tags are on the same line. You can put this in any way you want. In other words, you could have the P on one line, my cat is very grumpy on another line, and the ending P tag on a third line if you wanted to. So here the my cat is very grumpy, that's the content. Then you've got the closing tag. Again, it's the same as the opening tag, except it has the / before the name of the element. And they say that failing to include a closing tag is a common beginner error that can produce peculiar results. Let's just take a quick look at one of those top types of results. Okay, so I'm going to go back into here. And this is what I've been working on previously, if you remember. Okay. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get rid of it right away, but I just want you to see this. That is, I'm going to put in a paragraph right here. Okay, and I'm going to say, this is a paragraph the word bold, and I'm going to purposely remove this strong tag, the ending tag. The word bold has a, oops, let's put this on, we'll put this on each of these on their own line. So the word bold has a beginning tag, but no ending tag. See if you can spot the associated problem with this. Notice it's trying to put that tag in for me. All right, it wants to put it in because it wants me to do it correctly, but I'm purposely doing it incorrectly. Okay, so let's do a file, save all, and then we'll go back to our site. All right, and let's see if this looks any different. So notice it says here, this word has a beginning tag but no ending tag. See if you can spot the associated problem with this. Well, bold should be bolded, but none of the rest of it should be. And notice that it is all bolded. All right, what if I added one more thing into this? Because this can be a perpetual problem that gets worse and worse as you go on. So let's go in and let's actually underline the word like we should have. The word bold, and we'll put in the strong tag like we wanted to. All right. Also, the word underline. All right. So what is an underline? I think that's a U tag, and I think that's actually been I think that's a deprecated tag, but we're going to put it in there anyway. Underline should also be underlined. Does this also present a problem for us? All right, and we jump back into our code and look at our page. And you'll notice the same kind of thing. In fact, look at this. All of this is underlined, everything, since we did not put in an ending underline tag. All right. So is there a simple fix? Well, of course there is. We just come in here and we put in our ending underline tag. All right. And once we've done that, so there's our beginning and our ending tag, and we save, and we come back. Notice, as soon as I refresh, not underlined anymore, just the word underline has been underlined, and just the word bold is in bold. So that's the type of thing that they're talking about in here. All right. I'm of the mindset that quite often it's much easier to demonstrate this than it is to just talk about it. All right, so creating your first element, well, that's totally fine. Okay, it says edit the line, editable code. They want you to take this here and they want you to put it in M tags, which means M is emphasis. All right, and when you click show solution, there it is. It's the same thing that we just did. And just so you see it, the M tag has replaced the I tag for italics. Although the I tag can still be used, again, it's deprecated and it's recommended you don't use it. How about this? So again, let's take a look at it. Jump down to the bottom, oh, right here. This is my text, and you can see that it is indeed italicized. All right, I'm going to keep doing this and going over some of their examples, but just trying to show stuff on this page. Now, we've talked before about nesting elements. All right, and what this means is, if you look, we've got a p tag. Inside of that p tag, we've got a strong tag. Totally fine to do, but this actually is nested correctly. In other words, both the beginning and the ending strong tags, both of them, are inside of the beginning and ending p tags. That's the way you should do it. You should not do it like this. All right, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. So I'm going to create a new paragraph. I'm going to copy this paragraph that's right here. And I'm going to throw it inside of our document. All right, in fact, where we've got this as a paragraph, we've kind of talked about that already. So let's just put this in. And I'm going to get rid of those p tags because I had my own. All right, so the word vary in here, all right, should be bolded if we did this correctly. So let's look. My cat is very grumpy. You can see that it is. Now, what I'm going to show you is something that's not talked about till later, but I want to show it to you right now. I'm going to come in here and in Google, I'm going to type in HTML validator. Okay. And there is a markup service that will check to make sure you've actually set your HTML up okay. Now, I could come in here and I can put in direct input, file upload, URI. So I could just give it the name of my file, but I'm going to go right into here and I'm going to paste in the code that I've just put in, all of my code. So I'm going to grab every bit of this, Control A, Control C, and I'm going to take it and paste it all in right there. Then I'm going to click check. And you'll notice it comes up green is good. Document checking complete, no errors or warnings to show. That's good. But, and then I'm going to almost be ready to end this part of this lesson here. But what I want to show you is this. I'm going to now put in the wrong version. So this is the wrong one. When I say wrong, we've got a problem with nesting. This p tag should be after the strong tag, not before it. So I'm purposely introducing an error into here. So I'm going to get rid of what we had in here and replace it with what's wrong. All right, let's put it on separate lines like I had it before. In fact, we'll just leave it like that. All right. Now I'm grabbing all of the code. I'm going to go back in again, as we just did, into the validator. I'm going to remove what's there, and I'm going to paste in there what's wrong. And again, that's the line that's right here. And notice now when I click check, I get errors. End p tag seen, but there were open elements. Error. Unclosed element. Strong. Error. No strong element in scope, but a strong. It's trying to let me know that in line 32, I've got problems. And there's line 32. All right, so I have to go back in and fix those. All right. Now the next thing that's discussed in here, let's just jump into this real quick before we finish up this lesson. We still have a few minutes. Are block elements versus inline elements. Block elements are basically stronger, so to speak, than inline elements. Block elements stand on their own. Typically, inline elements are contained inside of block level elements. What do I mean? Well, you hopefully noticed that if I come in here, if I go back into what we've been typing in here, let's just remove this, and let's just keep the P tag. All right, in fact, I'm going to put in 3 of these. So I've got 3 blank paragraphs that should come in here before that picture of the arch. And let's see if they do. All right. So in other words, if we come in here, let's not even use paragraph tags. They aren't working very well. Let's use div tags. All right. And I'm going to put in 3 divs. See if that gives me what I'm looking for here. Doesn't look any different because there's not anything inside of there. But if I do come in here and type in hello, hi, goodbye. Okay, and it wouldn't matter if I did this with paragraphs or not. Watch how this gets pushed down. All right, see that? So these are block level elements. In other words, they take up the entire line. How do I know they take up the entire line? Well, I'm going to right mouse click on my document, and I'm going to choose the word inspect. All right, and then I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to click on the word hello. All right, now I'll have to take a look and come on in here to take a look at everything. So let's see. But what's happening is with a block level element, it's showing me that this is taking up, for lack of better words, the entire line. So is this, so is this. So the thing about block level elements, all right, it appears on a new line from the content that precedes it. Now, on the other hand, inline elements are part of block level elements. They don't appear on a new line. So in other words, if I come back in here and I go and let's say that in here I put a strong tag. And in here I put an M tag. And in here, what's another tag that we could put in here? How about a paragraph tag? No, not a paragraph. We use the underline. How about an H? Oh, let's put a U in like we did before. What I want you to notice, if you take a look in here, all right, and let's close this. This isn't going to look any different, except this will now be bolded, this will now be italicized, and this will now be underlined. But they won't have any more space in them than they had previously. So block level elements stand on their own. They represent a block of text. Typically, they'll have a blank line before them and after them. All right. On the other hand, inline elements are created or they're within block level elements. All right. So they don't cause a new line to appear. And they give some examples here. I don't know if they're any better or any worse than mine. All right, before we go into attributes, let's quickly touch on, oh, we're at 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop right now.